What's up, men's physique fans, and welcome back to another video. We had an eventful weekend in the men's physique division. Top 10 athletes went head to head. A new athlete punched his ticket to the Olympia, and things are starting to heat up. Ali Bilal making a bold promise to his fans and his country that he's guaranteeing an Olympia win. But can he actually back it up? And Kyron Holden, is he back? Is he gearing up for some kind of Houdini comeback act? I think so. All of this as we inch closer to what's shaping up to be the biggest Olympia in men's physique history. It's safe to say we have a lot to talk about. But before we get there, I wanted to remind you guys that I'm now taking on one-on-one coaching clients. If you or a friend are looking to step on stage for the first time, get nationally qualified, or you're just simply not happy with your current situation, all you guys have to do is click the link in my bio. I can promise you guys this. If you're looking for a coach who prioritizes communication and somebody who's going to make sure they get their check-in back to you in a timely manner and also creates an individualized plan specifically for you, no cookie cutter bullshit, I can promise you guys this, it'll be the best investment that you have ever made. Make sure you click the link in my bio, and now that we got that out of the way, I want you guys to sit back, relax, and enjoy this video.
Grapevine, but I ain't hearing nothing great. No, they wanna take it all from me, so I give what it takes. Whole life been a miracle, seen everything but a cake. Why would I stop now? Found everything on a journey, but another way. Look.
The Tampa Pro, universally known as the third biggest bodybuilding show in the entire world behind the Arnold Classic and the Olympia, took place this past weekend, and it's safe to say it did not disappoint. The top 5 consisted of your 4th and 10th ranked men's physique athlete in the world, 2 current qualified Olympians, and 2 athletes who placed second at previous shows this season, without a doubt making it the most competitive show of the year. But the question is, did the judges actually get it right? Let's quickly break down your top 5 finalists, starting off with your 5th place finisher in Dan Ibraham. Let's quickly recap. Dan has done 3 shows this season, placing top 5 in all 3 of them. So in most situations, when you're getting rewarded with a top 5 finish and at another show, just 2 placings away from an Olympia qualification, most people would say that you fit in the division that you're competing in. Dan truly has one of the best physiques that I have ever seen. But you guys hear me say often that men's physique is a look. And the question is, has Dan done enough to reconfigure his physique in order to fit the look that men's physique is trying to go towards? And with Tyler being the decision maker in that look that you consistently hear me talk about, this show meant everything. But placing 5th place in a lineup that definitely had a lot of high caliber athletes is without a doubt speaks volumes. And the biggest issue that Dan has isn't necessarily the amount of muscle that he has in his upper body, but instead it's the imbalance that he has in his lower compared to his upper body. If you take a look at his upper, you can clearly see that is classic physique. The amount of muscle and the density can easily translate into the bigger divisions, but his legs, they're small for men's physique. So when you have that big of a disparity, that's extremely hard to reward, especially at a show like the Tampa Pro. So Dan, though has one of the craziest physiques in the world, truly finds himself in the dead middle between classic physique and men's physique, with people like Tyler Mannion saying, hey, you should transition to classic and grow the legs. And then you have people like Cuts, who's a legend, who sits there and analyzes his physique and says, you might want to stay in men's physique just because I don't think you'll ever be able to grow the amount of density that will make you competitive at the classic physique division. But nonetheless, Dan Ibraham placing another top 5 finish here at Tampa and brings probably one of the best packages that he's brought of the year. And coming in at 4th place is none other than your 10th ranked men's physique athlete in the entire world, and arguably one of the most disappointing seasons thus far for Kaiki Santos. Kaiki Santos has one of the highest ceilings in men's physique, let alone the Tampa Pro. And coming off of a 10th place finish with not even bringing his best package speaks volumes on what people expected coming into the 2025 season. But the first 2 shows did not go as planned, placing 4th place at the Brazil show and now 4th place here at the Tampa Pro, losing to people who have never been to the Olympia stage before. Like, let that sink in. So with that being said, Kaiki Santos brought a much improved package here at the Tampa Pro, but it just wasn't enough, especially in the eyes of Tyler Mannion. Now, I do believe that Kaiki could have placed higher here. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that. Being there in person and seeing his physique, just the overall structure, the improved conditioning from the Brazil show, and really just, again, the structure. The structure stood out compared to everybody else, but what really hurt him was his back shot. And his back being what it was at the Olympia and now seeing it here, you can clearly see that it was off. But again, he just has a physique that if it's nailed, This man is much better than a 4th place finish at the Tampa Pro. And I may be being a little harsh on Kaiki, but he has one of my favorite physiques in the men's physique division, and my expectations for him are much higher than what he's shown over the last couple of weeks. But I'm telling you guys right now, and hear me when I say this, if he nails his look and he brings that conditioning in, and his back is full and shows what it was truly capable of, just like it was at the Olympia, guys, I'm telling you right now, this man is not only going back to the Olympia, but he can easily be in the conversation one day to win the Olympia because he has that look. And coming in at 3rd place is none other than Barack King. And guys, we need to take a second to appreciate the season that Barack is having, coming off of a 2nd place finish just a couple weeks ago and now 3rd place and beating a top 10 finisher. Barack is making a name for himself. And for those of you who might not know who Barack King is, he is a previous Olympian. He is a guy who got there off of points, a guy who was consistently running the gauntlet, always being in those top conversations. That's how he got to the Olympia. And that's how he's trying to get back to it, consistently running the gauntlet. The only difference is there's no point. So the fact that he was 1 placing away just a couple weeks ago and now 2 placings here at the Tampa Pro, it speaks volumes of what the judges see in his physique and also the improvements that he's clearly making. Here at the Tampa Pro, Barack was on. His detail from the front really allowed him to stand out in this lineup, and he poses in a way that manipulates his wider waist to almost like create an illusion, so it doesn't look as wide as it actually is, and I think that really helps him here as well. You guys hear me say on this channel often about the importance of controlling your variables, and that's exactly what Barack did. He controlled his conditioning variable, he controlled his fullness variable, and he controlled his posing and presentation variable. And that was enough to put a guy who hasn't been to the Olympia in 3 to 4 years over a guy who's fresh off of a 10th place finish at the Olympia. Let that sink in. That's how wide open the men's physique division is. But nonetheless, coming in at 3rd place, congratulations, Barack King. And coming in at 2nd place is none other than your 2025 already qualified Olympian in Dee Walker. Now, this was a win-win opportunity for Dee. He had an opportunity to perfect his peak and also stand next to guys who have been at the Olympia stage already. On paper, he may have been the 3rd best men's physique athlete coming into the show. Why? He could get a 10th place and a 4th place finish. But not only did he beat the 10th place finisher handedly by 2 spots, but he stood next to the winner, your 4th place finisher at the Olympia, and actually gave him a run for his money. I even had people talking as I'm leaving the venue saying that I think Dee Walker is going to take the show. Now, even though I didn't see that necessarily, it doesn't change the fact that Dee brought one hell of a physique. I think this was his 2nd best physique of all time, almost rivaling the Miami Muscle Beach show. Dee Walker brought it. He was more conditioned and detailed than he was at the show prior. And his back, guys, it's hard to explain this unless you really see it in person, but Dee might not have the best back, but he exposes other people's back, like handily. Why? Because his back is so detailed. Even though it might be a little narrow, it's so detailed that it makes anybody standing next to him just look not conditioned. And when you have a wow factor like that, I'm telling you guys, you can stand next to almost anybody and almost give them a run for their money. But nonetheless, Dee Walker brought it, coming in at 2nd place, brother. Congratulations. And your 2025 Tampa Pro champion is none other than your 4th ranked men's physique athlete in the world 2 times in Emanuel Hunter. Now, you guys have heard me say it time and time again. Emanuel Hunter is the most underrated men's physique athlete in the current day and age of men's physique. Why? Because he has proven that he can stand with the best in the world. He's placed 4th place twice, but yet is left out of every conversation when it comes to not only just winning the Olympia, but also just being in the top 5 at the Olympia. So with that being said, he is a guy who typically gets better with show after show after show, typically having to compete about 2 to 3 times in order to not only get that qualification, but this time he is one and done. And he did it in a way that gives me a lot of hope that he is going to be even better in just a few weeks when he steps back on stage. Again, wink, wink. And with that expectation, I didn't necessarily think that Emanuel was going to come in with the package that he brought, but he was big, without a doubt the biggest that he has ever been. And take that into full understanding that he was 8 pounds lower than where he was at the Olympia, but yet and still looked bigger than ever. And then he was conditioned and his detail was on point. All things that typically are a little lackluster for him at his first showing. But the one thing that Emanuel could do to put it out of reach for almost everybody is bring up a little bit more back density. If you look at Emanuel's back, a lot of times people will sit there and say he needs more detail, but that's not necessarily the case. He needs more muscle in his back, which is going to allow that muscle to push back against the skin. And if he gets that, this man is going to be a problem. I'm telling you guys right now, I already think he has top 2 backs in the men's physique division. And if he can now add a little bit more density to that with the weight cap or the room in between the caps that he already has, it's over. It's over. I'm telling you guys right now. But nonetheless, Emanuel Hunter gets it done. One and done here at the Tampa Pro. Bro looked absolutely insane. But he wasn't just done when he stepped off stage. That boy turned up. Take a look at what Emanuel did after the show. That man was living life. And if you know about Emanuel, he has like one of the most like carefree, I guess, energetic personalities you'll ever meet. He's always in a good mood. He's always has a good head on his shoulders. But I love the fact that he was able just to let it loose, have some fun, and enjoy the fruits of his labor, because this man worked his ass off, and he's one of those guys that really has to push in a prep in order to, reach the conditioning level that warrants a 4th place finish at the Olympia. But nonetheless, Emanuel Hunter, you deserved it, brother. Congratulations. I cannot believe that we are already in August and that there's only 9 weeks left until the Olympia. I want to give you guys a quick recap on the 2025 season thus far. We currently have 66 qualified athletes competing in Las Vegas in just 9 weeks, 21 countries being represented at this current time, and there are 14 qualifying shows left in this season. So if you do the math, there is a potential 80 athletes competing at this year's Mr. Olympia in the men's physique division. 80. This would be the biggest Olympia ever. I believe that biggest up until this point was the 2022 Olympia, where there was, I think, 73 guys qualified at one point. I think 69 or 70 guys actually ended up competing. But think about that. 80 athletes. It's absolutely insane, guys. Absolutely insane. But I will say this. The cream of the crop will always rise. Always. But 80 athletes, I really do think that the men's physique, and more specifically the IFBB, should do something where they just bring the prestige back of the Olympia. 80 athletes in one division just almost makes it feel like a lot of people can do it. That's just the reality of it, because there are a lot of great physiques out there. We talked about Dan Ibraham. We talked about Barack King, these guys who are consistently trying to get back. But let's be real, 80 athletes really does water down the feel of what the Olympia is going to be. And this is coming from an athlete and a fan of this division. So I'm curious to know what you guys think that the men's physique division, or more specifically the IFBB, should be doing about this, because I don't know. I can't imagine 80 athletes walking across that stage and the judges being able to accurately sit there and say, you are the 20th best men's physique athlete in the world. You are the 14th best men's physique athlete in the world. You are the 2nd best men's physique. I feel like if we had a way to kind of break it down a little bit more, it would just be much more exciting come the actual Olympia. The fans would be more enjoying, the athletes who have made it would be, more, I guess, hyped about the actual experience of it. But nonetheless, 80 men's physique athletes potentially at this year's Olympia. Insane. And now let's take a quick trip around the division to highlight some of your favorite men's physique athletes, starting off with your runner-up to the Mr. Olympia and Ali Bilal, who is in full prep mode for this year's Olympia. The fact that this man looks like this after 10 weeks off of PEDs, meal plan, and training plan just speaks volumes on how one of a kind his physique actually is. And the fact that he looks like this 9 weeks out from the Olympia speaks volumes in itself. There's no doubt that Ryan Terry is the favorite going into this Olympia. But I'm telling you guys right now, as wide open as the men's physique division actually is and how anybody can jump anybody, I do think that there's 3 people, maybe 4 people at the top who are in true contention for this year's title. You have Ryan Terry and you have Ali Bilal, who is right on his tail. And I do believe it was much closer than what people are making it out to be at last year's Olympia. But if Ali Bilal can make the improvements, more specific to his back and his upper chest, and he brings everything else in the exact same, I honestly think that he could jump Ryan if Ryan is not at 100%, which he wasn't at last year's Olympia. And if you take a listen to what Ali just said, I think he thinks the same thing.
Coming to win this shit, bro. Win it. No bullshit. No second, third, all this bullshit. Coming to win. First place. 1,000,000% sure. No one is as crazy as me. Telling you, bro. I swear to God, bro. Telling you. No other athlete is as crazy as me.
Kyron Holden is back. with more physique updates. This guy gives us the most blue balls that we've ever seen in our lives. When is this man actually going to compete? Because if he keeps just dropping physique updates like this, just casually looking as good as he does, everyone's gonna sit here and start rambling and wondering what the hell is going on. There's been 2 people in the men's physique division who just seemingly disappeared. You have Corey Morris, who doesn't post any physique updates anymore for whatever reason. I think he deactivated his Instagram account, and he's probably one of my favorite physiques in the men's physique division, just structurally and just cartoon-like physique-wise. And then you have Kyron Holden, who just keeps everything to himself and leaves everybody else wondering. Bang. But when you look at this physique update, Kyron Holden is on point. The fact that his bubbliness looks like this, his posing is just always on point, the roundness, his back, everything, man. I'm so excited to see Kyron Holden step back on stage, and I can confidently say whatever show that he does, he's going to win it, unless he just comes in significantly off. But that's the one thing about Kyron. He's extremely consistent. And again, if he just continues to improve on the look that he's showing here, there's no doubt in my mind. But the 14 qualifying opportunities that he has left, he will be one of those guys who takes it. Halberto might just have the best front shot in the men's physique division. I want you guys to take his front shot and compare it next to anybody else in this league, and you tell me that he does not at minimum push them. Absolutely one of the most underrated men's physique athletes in the entire world. His front shot is so good that when he faces the curtains, his back shot just tends to hurt him. But he has clearly made improvements over the last couple of years to his back. And I'm telling you guys right now, this is one of those physiques that you guys can see place, last at the Olympia, but make a massive jump like Ali Bilal did with some minor improvements. He doesn't need to have the best back in the world. The reality is, with his back genetics, it's likely a lot harder to add that density to it. But if he can add enough, you can't tell me that this physique doesn't belong in the top 10 conversation at the Olympia. You can't, because this physique is just, it's insane. It's a men's physique is what it is. But nonetheless, dropping crazy physique updates leading into his next show. And I'm telling you guys right now, there's no doubt in my mind that whatever show he ends up gonna do, he's gonna dominate. He looks absolutely insane. And now that you guys are caught up on all things men's physique, I wanna take a quick second to thank each and every single one of you guys for the consistent love and support on this channel. For those of you who don't know, I decided to take a step back from competing here in the 2025 season to prioritize my health and to prioritize my family. And when bodybuilders take a step back, oftentimes they feel lost. But being able to sit in front of this camera and update you guys, it just allowed me to feel rejuvenated and have a purpose here in this season. And now that things are full swing, I cannot wait to dive head deep into the men's physique division even more than I already have. So thank you guys. If you haven't already, make sure you smash the subscribe button and make sure that you click the post notification bell so you're notified of every new upload. And if you haven't already, make sure you check out Manifest Competition Wear. We have a new drop releasing this Thursday with 4 new colorways, reaching a wide variety of different styles. You guys are absolutely gonna love them, and the fit, the material speaks volumes. Don't take it from me. Ask anybody who has ever worn Manifest on stage, and they'll tell you themselves. And if you haven't already, make sure you click the link in my bio if you're interested in online coaching. But now that that's out of the way, I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. Until the next video, peace.
I got my name in stone.